we go. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have two great panelists ready to give us some information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than my blood sister, Sister Miriam Muhammad. So please give everyone the greetings.
Assalamu alaikum, peace everybody.
Excellent, beautiful. Also, Sister Queen Nzinga. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, great. Today we're dealing with mental wellness, and we look forward to getting into it. My uncle, Minister Jamil, says assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, sir. He says he loves you, loves us, we love you more. Okay, Sister Queen Nzinga, can you please let us know, clear the word depression before we get started?
Sure. So really quickly, depression, it's clinical depression. It's an actual medical condition that you have. It's a chemical imbalance of intense sadness, intense dissatisfaction. It's not just feeling sad, it's a little more to it than that. But being depressed is a state of general unhappiness or despondency.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, great. And Naima says in the Greek as well. Okay, now Sister Miriam, what and you're,
Yes.
You're in the mental health field, the mental wellness field. What advice would you give to people, just not just based off the pandemic, but just in general on their keeping their mental, wellness up here?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Before I answer your question, I just want to say something. I would like to say that I am Miriam Muhammad. I seek refuge in Allah from anxiety and grief. And I am a therapist, and I have an awesome Black female therapist. I am also a Golden Seal auditor. I believe that all of those things coexist and work together beautifully to help us improve our quality of life and support our mental health and wellness. So I just wanted to say that you can be a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, agnostic, atheist, whatever. But for those who believe in a higher power, that is beautiful. I do too. And I believe that we should seek help, seek assistance through patience and prayer, and put some work behind those prayers and get a therapist. There's nothing wrong with it. We have to normalize that. So I just wanted to preface my answer with that. So thank you for your question, Brother Joshua. So keeping our mental wellness up during the pandemic, I would say it's very similar to the things that we should be doing on a regular basis, making sure that we are getting adequate sunlight, going outside. I think that during the quarantine, we were so focused on what's happening next. Some of us were watching a little too much TV and media. Sometimes you need to turn off your TV, be mindful and intentional about the pages that we're following, the music that we're listening to, the messages that we're giving ourselves, making sure that we're getting outside, whether that's walking, whatever form of exercise, preferred form of exercise is, getting more active and physical. And if you're feeling like you're unable to, for whatever reason, start where you are. Chair exercise. There's chair yoga. You can walk up and down the steps in your house listening to music. You can just move. Moving our bodies improves our mental state in some way, shape, or form. So reaching out. It's easy to be disconnected from your friends during this time if you're not traveling as much, and being disconnected from your family as well. Start a group chat of those people who you feel like are safe persons you can talk to, you can reach out to, who are positive, who will motivate you, not just be putting their problems on you and stressing you out more, but making sure that we are staying connected to each other during this time is very key. Another thing is making sure that now, I know initially in 2020, doctors' offices were closed because we didn't know what was happening. You couldn't make appointments, and then it moved to virtual appointments. We need to be making sure that we are going to see our primary care because a lot of times your primary care physician can, you can let them know how you're feeling, what's going on with you, and then they can make the appropriate referrals. If you saying I'm having problems sleeping, I'm not eating, something's up with my appetite, I'm feeling off, and they do their physical assessment, and it's like, okay, well, physically you look fine, but let me refer you to this doctor, to this psychiatrist. Let's try this. This might be something. So making sure that we are getting to our primary care physicians, and that we're getting our children to their pediatric appointments as well, because our children's mental health is very important, and it's also being affected by the pandemic as well. So go to your doctor's appointment, and make sure you're paying attention to what's going on with yourself. Let someone and talk to your children, see how they're doing. Let the pediatrician know if you think something's off. Well, they're not, their sleeping pattern is off, their behavior, they're getting in trouble in school where they usually don't have issues in school. Their grades are, or whatever you feel is off, talk to a professional. You can start right with your pediatrician. You don't have to try to find a counselor or a therapist. A lot of times they can say, that's an easy fix. That's what have they been eating? What have they been doing? We don't have to figure out things on our own. So I would say start right there with your primary care physician and your pediatrician for your children.
Excellent.
That's it.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. People in the comments showing love, and I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Now for you, Sister Queen Nzinga, what advice would you give to people on keeping their mental wellness up at this time period?
I would say to treat your mental with as much care as you treat your physical wellness. A lot of times people don't treat mental illnesses or mental issues with the same care as they do with physical. So if you see someone physically hurt, oh my God, what happened to you? Oh my God, you need to go to a hospital. You need to do this. When it's mental, it's, oh, you don't need a therapist. Oh, why are you going to this counselor? Why are you doing it? There's a lot more shame attached to it. And so people, like Sister Miriam said, people need to take that proper care, even if it means going to your doctor, even if it means going to your pediatrician, making sure that you're healthy on the inside out. I would encourage people who are really dealing with it to take it a day at a time, literally a day at a time. Sometimes we start thinking, well, I don't know how it will work out next week. I don't know how it will work out. I don't know how I'm going to be tomorrow. Take it literally today. What can you do today? And then let the rest figure itself out. I think the more we overcrowd our heads, we get overwhelmed. And that intense anxiety that comes with depression multiplies. So definitely take it a day at a time. Definitely take care of yourself, and don't feel shame for saying, I need to take a day, or I need to take a break, or saying no, having boundaries, and not feeling pressured to be this high functioning person to please everybody. Just make sure that you secure yourself first, because the first law is self-preservation. You have to make sure that you're good before anyone else can be good.
Excellent. Praise be to Allah. Okay, great. And so many people showing you our love. Thank you, Sister Queen Nzinga, and you, Sister Miriam. My next question for you, we'll go back to you, Sister Miriam, is what are some practical solutions if somebody recognizes that they're going through something? What would you suggest they do?
Excellent question. I guess it would just depend on what they're feeling or what they feel like they're going through. But I want to encourage all the adults, if you're 18 or older, who are watching the podcast. There are, even our young people who are on always on social media, you can Google. Google is an amazing resource. And I'm not talking about Google your symptoms. I do not encourage people to do that. But I'll just throw out some resources out there that I find to be amazing for the women that are watching, the Black women that are watching. Therapyforblackgirls.com. You can go on there, and there are therapists. You can put in your zip code, and you can find therapists all across the world, like who are in your area. You can go on their website, see what they specialize in, what they look like, everything, and you can find a therapist in your area. for Black men, therapyforblackmen.org. And it's basically the same exact thing, but for our brothers. And that is an amazing resource. For those who are dealing with substance abuse and mental health as a co-occurring disorder, there's a website, and I don't want to mess it up. I have it right here. It's samhsa.gov, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. And it's the same thing. They will tell you, type in your zip code, and help that is in your area will come up. If you are dealing with substance abuse issues, if you are dealing with alcohol issues, and you want to just drop into a meeting, you don't want feel comfortable talking to anybody about it, you can Google AA meeting and near me. Google will bring it right up. You can find a meeting. You can go in and tell them your name is, you can make up a name. They don't even care. You go in, you can just go in anonymously and listen if you don't feel like sharing the first time. But to have a community, to know that you are not alone. You are not the only one out there that's suffering. I encourage anybody who's out there suffering with any substance to go to a meeting. And it's not just they have substance abuse, not just alcohol AA meetings, but they have it for families that can go Al-Anon meetings, where if you are the family member of someone who is dealing with substance abuse, we know how that affects families. You can Al-Anon meeting near me and find a meeting. So resources, don't suffer in silence. Google. Again, going back to your doctor, if you have a primary care physician, talk to them, and they will be I trust that you have an amazing primary care physician who will refer you to where you need to go. But you can just start with Google. And even for those, there are places that have a sliding fee scale. And when you see sliding fee scale, that means based on your income. So if you aren't working, there are therapists that will see you $5, like whatever. They'll say, give me what you can. They will work with you. So we cannot use money as an excuse not to take care of our mental health and wellness, because there are so many free resources out there. We have to seek them out and look for them. But there are so many that you can just Google, type in free therapist near me, and you'll see what comes up.
Beautiful. Excellent. And thank you very much for your wonderful answers. Brother Stephen says facts. He sends a greetings. My sister Naima says excellent topic and panel. Dr. Elaine says, she's paraphrasing, you seek refuge from anxiety. Worrying about the future is anxiety, and grief is worrying about the past. That's why, we say that prayer 5 times a day. Excellent. Boom. Perspective. She says she loves a therapist that she found her on blackgirls.com. That's right. All the sisters doing Black Girl Magic and therapy and all that good stuff. Okay, and I'm coming back to speaking of the gender of the Black girls and all of that. Now, Sister Nzinga, for men, are you saying that that mental health is something that only women should go seek some help, or are you saying as men we can be tough, cool guys and still go through some mental stuff? Let me know.
Oh, absolutely, it's not just for women. Absolutely not. There's these stereotypes that women are the ones that need a therapist because we're the emotional ones, or brothers, they're good because they're hard, they're tough. No, that's not real. Especially if you are a Black man in America, at some point you need to visit a therapist, because if we know that through slavery alone there's generational trauma and that we carry a gene of PTSD, why don't we think that the brothers need to go to therapy, or they need some sort of help or assistance if genetically you are at risk and genetically you're suffering, even if nothing necessarily happens to you, it happens to your ancestors, so it's being passed down to you. So Black men definitely need to get a therapist, get help, seek help and refuge. Okay, that is crucial, especially when you're living in a country like this where every single day it is a target on your backs. Black women as well. Neither of us need to think that we're so strong that we don't need help. That's not going to help anyone, and it hasn't saved anyone yet. Everybody needs help somewhere in some way, shape, form, fashion. And when it comes to mental health, that might just mean a therapist. So no, it's not just for women. Brothers, I think, especially need it, living in a time like this.
Absolutely. Okay, great. And Sister Naomi says, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, ma'am. And thank everybody who continues to watch, like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. Okay, Sister Miriam, what can we do to help take the taboo off of the subject in general of mental wellness and mental therapy?
That's an excellent question. And I think that doing more things like this, just having a conversation. And I want to thank you, Brother Joshua, because the People's Podcast, since its inception, has been a safe space, which is a space free of judgment, and a brave space, which is a space that encourages and facilitates dialogue. So what we're doing today, we are in a safe and brave space and having these uncomfortable conversations about quote unquote taboo, a taboo topic. And I think that just having these conversations, just talking about it is what normalizes it. You hear like normalized mental health, and you see that now it is being discussed more in our community, and that is important. Just having the conversation is brave because it's something that, you know, we whisper about. We talk about, oh, what's going on with him? Something ain't right. That one, something going on with him. That one, well, we know that we are suffering, but a lot of us suffer in silence. Whereas if we talk about it, just having the conversation normalizes it. Like today, we're sharing resources. We're talking about our experiences. That is very, 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 very important. And I think that it should start in our homes. So as parents, we should be checking in with ourselves, checking in with our spouse, talking about it, and then talking about it on a age-appropriate level with our children. You know, just introducing them to mindfulness and breathing techniques of how to manage and cope with feelings of anxiety and things of that nature. So just like we teach our children how to pray, we should also be teaching them how to meditate and how to check in with themselves. Why are you feeling this way? You know, what's going on? Like, let's take some deep breaths. Let's breathe together. You know, those things that seem so simple. Oh, take some deep breaths. No, that is key of how to get grounded, how to get present in your body. You need to talk to children about that early on, very early on, teaching coping. We need to know how to properly cope so we aren't running to substances. You know, we know how to, okay, something's going on. Let me go to my therapist, because my mom, she goes to her therapist. So I need to talk to a therapist. So I feel comfortable coming to my mom and saying, Mom, I think I need to find a therapist. I need to talk to somebody about what's going on. I'm having a tough time. So having those conversations and creating environments where our children feel open enough to talk to us about things. And if we don't, because sometimes those environments, the jig might be up, might be a little too late to create that environment. As a parent, it's never too late to tune in and pay attention to your child. Because we know, as mothers especially, when something is off with our children, don't turn a blind eye to it. Try to talk to them. And if they won't talk to you, get them in there with their doctor and let their pediatrician know, this is what I'm seeing. Maybe you can talk to them. They will assess your child. And let's just, while I'm talking about assessments and things of that nature. My believing Nation of Islam family, let me talk to you all about this. Everybody's not trying to stick a needle in your baby's sperm. So there are people, God works through men and women, angels who are walking this earth. Get your baby, whoever you feel comfortable with, whatever doctor, holistic healthcare practitioner, get your baby to somebody that you trust. And I'm not saying drop them off and leave them, but let them know what you feel like is going on with your child and get their opinion. And if you don't agree with that, go get a second opinion. But let's not just say things that are not sound and factual. Everybody's they're going to try to give my baby pills. They're going to try to, do this and that to my child. Well, your child may or may not need to be medicated. We don't know. So let's not jump to conclusions. Let's have the conversation and let's get an assessment going on so we can see what the issue is, So just that is just something I really wanted to say because I've heard there's so many misconceptions about mental health, and we have to stop it, especially if you've never received professional mental health care. And so many of us haven't, unfortunately. We won't even submit and avail ourselves to auditing, but we will make up all kind of excuses of why, but claim that we hear and obey and follow the Jesus in our midst when we don't. If you're not getting audited, I want to hear it. I want to hear what you think about auditing. We are taught to hear and obey. We have something. We have a technology and a tool that can help us and that can really help our children. There's a reason why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said there should be at least one auditor in every household. The times when we're supposed to be in our chamber with the door shut, if you have an auditor in your household and there's something that comes up and arises, that auditor can help with the feelings that are going on, can help alleviate our children, our family members, not just the children, but I'm passionate about our babies because they don't have a voice, and I feel like a lot of times we just ignore their needs or whatever. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting off my soapbox.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Sister, go ahead and teach, Sister Miriam. All right. Naeem said teach. Sister Kolsum Akbar says yes. Speak on these issues. All praise to Allah. And we're coming right to Sister Queen Nzinga. But before we go to Sister Queen Nzinga, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this this season. Okay, I want to. If you like to be a sponsor or donor, please cash at the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad. Hold on, here we go. Boom. My brother Rashad, he has a street premiere media production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of those. My Sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. Please go out and get those. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country and right here in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. We love our tiny dancers. Also, Raw Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Raw Communication. Also, our brother, Supreme Fashion Gods, Urban Wear, 314-329-6009. He'll keep you fresh in the best of fashion. Please reach out to him. Brother Kenneth, Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Please reach out to him. We're coming right back to our guest, Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad. Beef, conflict resolution throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad, Children of the Most High, Giving Birth to a God, and the Science of Child Rearing. Please go out and get her books. Also, Power Campus Online Learning. Do you want to improve your homeschooling experience? We're here to help. 770-847-0786. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse. Right back to our esteemed panelists and Sister Queen and Nzinga. All right, boom. Now, my question for you, ma'am, is how do you believe that we can assist in taking the taboo of mental health off in our day-to-day lives and in our community as a whole?
For one, not responding to it only when there's a crisis happening. We like to only talk about things when something crazy just happened, or when so-and-so might have took their life today, and now we're going to talk about mental health. It shouldn't work like that. We shouldn't wait for something drastic and tragic to happen, but sometimes, unfortunately, that's the only times in which we'll wake up and finally want to start the conversation. But taking the taboo off of it means not whispering about people, but maybe offering some assistance. There's a reason why a lot of us, especially Black folks, what's wrong with him? He's touched in the head. What does touched in the head mean? What's wrong. Something is different and something is not right with this person, but we're just not going to talk about he's touching the head. We're not going to talk about it. No, we might want to talk about it. We might want to have a discussion or two. We might want to look into this generational trauma that we have. What's in the family? What's happened to grandma? What happened to her? We need to talk about these things. And it's not a white thing. Contrary to popular belief, it's not a white thing. Just because, we see things in the world and what people are doing, school shootings and all that stuff. Okay, that's great. But what about us as Black people living in this country? We also have PTSD. We know it's for a fact. But if we know that, what makes you think that your household, believers, what makes you think that your household is any different? If we are a people and we all are coming from the same line, what makes you think that your household escaped? What makes you think that, oh, because we know how to pray now, maybe in Arabic, that all of a sudden we're saved? That doesn't work that way. It never worked that way, right? We have to come out of a spooky mindset that if we just pray about it, then all things that's wrong with us going to go away. Like Sister Miriam said, yes, teach your babies how to pray, but teach them how to breathe as well. Yes, teach your babies how to pray, but teach them how to ask for help and set boundaries. That's really important. But if we just say, well, just pray about it, you'll be good, that's not going to work. And it hasn't worked yet. There's people who are highly spiritual that are going through it and are down bad because they're missing something else. And like Sister Miriam was saying also, Allah doesn't come from the sky and just give you a peace of mind. There's people who you can go to and talk to help give you the clarity that you need. Angels are not coming down on wings and giving you peace of mind. They come through people. And maybe, just maybe, that the help that you receive can be from your therapist, can be from your doctor, can be from your mentor. Real people, real life people in your face, because we like to criticize other people for being spooky, but give the most spooky answers for real problems. And it doesn't work that way. And it's honestly a little hypocritical. So we got to take the taboo off of it by not making it a spooky thing. It's only taboo when you know you don't have a real solution and you know you don't have any tangible understanding of it, or you don't have any real understanding of it whatsoever. It's only taboo when you're scared of it and you're scared to talk about it because you might be dealing with something similar and you never got the help that you got or that you really needed. You never got those resources. So now, well, you were told not to talk about it. Now your children are not going to talk about it and their children are not going to talk about it. And it's going to keep going and keep going. We like to say break generational curses when it's about land and wealth, but not mental health. And that needs to change drastically. We can't say, oh, we got to break this generational curse. I'm going to give my baby 5 acres of land. Okay, cool. That's great. Do they know how to cope? Do they know how to ground themselves? Do they know how to breathe? Why are they highly sensitive and emotional all the time? Can they communicate well? Then what's a piece of land? If they are not able to mentally acquire the material things that you give them, then okay, you gave them sneakers. That's cool. That's great. But how are they mentally? Are we passing down trauma? Why do they flinch every time you try to touch them? Like, these are the things that we need to talk about. And breaking generational curses needs to be much more than a material thing. It needs to be a very much serious community commitment to freeing our people mentally. So that's my answer.
Okay, great. All praise due to Allah. Some people showing, thank you all for both of your answers. Some people showing love. For Stephen Muhammad says mental health is mental wealth. And Sister Naima says say that. Excellent. With all of the clapping emojis. And we can't wait to put this on YouTube. We have one more question for all of you all. For you, Sister Miriam, looking at your friends, your friend group or your family group, what are some of the signs that we can see? And how should we go about if you see like one of your friends who might be off or going through something? How can you approach that without it being one of my favorite television shows, Sopranos, and they had like a intervention and it just went left because it's like fighting in the intervention because he was like, don't attack me, you don't want no group, like, and it just went left. So how can we approach people without it going left? Like, what I'm saying, if you want to offer help to people in your friend group.
That's a really excellent question. And the honest answer is it depends. We know our friends. I know my friends. I know my family. I know my people. I know how to approach them in a different way. So interventions often backfire because the person's going to feel attacked because of the group dynamic. Now you see that on TV and you see that it's, especially when dealing with substance abuse and things like that, we want to create a circle and let them know that we love them. But in reality, that is not always the best thing to do because that person is going to feel singled out, attacked, they're going to be defensive in most cases, especially within our community. So I feel like if you notice, if I notice one of my friends is struggling, I'm going to check in with them a little bit more. Instead of texting, I'm going to start calling them. And then I'm just going to be direct. Like, hey, I love you. I noticed in the group chat, we were talking about so-and-so, you didn't respond. You weren't at work. What's going on? What you doing? What's going on? Like, let's go talk. So I had a friend doing the lockdown because I was dealing with grief and things of that nature, who reached out to me, and she's like, let's walk together. Let's be walking buddies. And that was like huge for me. I needed to get up. I needed to get out. I needed the fresh air. I needed to get moving. We weren't having these deep conversations about emotions. We was just getting together, grabbing coffee and walking, going to the track, was just walking. And that was so healing for me because, hey, look, I know you're going through something. We ain't gonna talk about it. We don't even have to discuss what's going on, but I know getting up, getting out, and walking will be beneficial for both of us during this time. Okay, so if you have another friend who loves to talk and likes to talk about their emotions, then hey, let's get together, let's talk, let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? Me and my friends, most of my friends, we have been lifelong friends. So we are very direct, very blunt. We talk about therapy. Hey, look, are you in therapy? And it's not offensive. Like, we know therapy is where we all need to be at this time and space in our life. It's not about, like Sister Queen Nzinga said, being in crisis. It's just about you're going on this journey in life, and just you need to have someone who can help you, just like Reiki. Most people I know don't go to a Reiki practitioner because they're necessarily dealing with something. They want their tone scale up. They want to function on a high level. They want to feel good. You don't just take vitamins when you're sick. I would hope that that's not how you're supposed to take them. You take them because you are nourishing your body. So the same is true with therapy. And so we can talk to our friends about the benefits of therapy. We can have honest and brave, direct conversations with them. And you have to be direct. You have to say, hey, I know that this is what I'm seeing. Is everything okay? And then once you reach out and let them know what you're seeing, you're telling them, this is what I'm seeing. Are you okay? You're checking in on, you're talking to them. This is another thing I'm going to say. It's not our job. And this might be controversial. It's not our job to rescue people. It's our job to give them tools. And this is something that I had to learn since I've been an adult. It's not our job. Our loved ones, we cannot rescue them. We can only give them the tools to rescue themselves, or we will drown. We will wind up wounded. We will wind up hurt. So if you're trying to help another adult, just come to them with the spirit of love and sincerity. That's first. Not, oh, you need to be audited. I've seen some people just be so rude and cruel and crass with the way that we talk about delicate issues such as mental health. Oh, you need to be audited. You wouldn't go, if you see somebody having a seizure, you're going to walk past them and say, oh, you need to go to the doctor. You need to call 911. Would you do that? If you would, then that's not appropriate. But, we need to treat mental health with the same delicacy as we treat physical health ailments and things of that nature. So, just having that open communication and dialogue. And if you don't feel comfortable necessarily talking to your friend, talk to another friend in your group who you think the message might go over a little better with. Like, hey, have you been noticing? Maybe you can reach out to her. What can we do together as a sisterhood? What can we do together as a brotherhood to support this person, And so it's not slack talking gossip when you are actively working together to support someone. Not talking about them, working together to support them. And I have to clear that up because a lot of times that happens too. But yeah, so just making sure that we are checking in with ourselves to make sure that we're in a good space where we can support others and we have the capacity to do so. We're putting our life mask on first before we can help someone else breathe. Putting our life vest on first before we can help someone else swim. And then, just come in with sincerity and love. Like, hey, I'm noticing like you haven't been wanting to come to you ain't want to come to nothing with us. What's going on? That's not like you. It's noticing those changes. Like you see somebody who loves an activity, basketball. Loves to play basketball, always playing basketball, and then all of a sudden they don't want to play basketball at all. Don't want to practice, don't want to shoot nothing. They're not talking about it. Or somebody who's super active on social media and then they go radio silent. Like no posts, nothing, super quiet, reach out, check, and just see. It might be that they're taking a social media break because they're focused on something else. But just if you think about somebody, if I've learned anything throughout this pandemic, is if Allah puts somebody on your mind, reach out to them, even if it's a text message, phone call, just real quick. Hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. That goes a long, long way. Allah puts people on our hearts and our minds for a reason. So reach out to the people that you love and that you think about, and just make sure that they're good.
Excellent, excellent. People are showing you all so much love on Facebook, and I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Naima says facts, good teachings. And for you, Sister Queen Nzinga, what would you say that we can do within your friend group, family? You know, if you see some of the signs that somebody's suffering or struggling with something, how should we go about that?
I can't really add too much to what Sister Miriam had already briefly explained. But I do want to say that, sometimes checking up on someone, um, it has to be a little bit more than one text and then leave them. Checking up has to be a continual process. Not saying, every single day. That's not, you're on them. You're not checking up. You're on them now. But, checking up on people, maybe once every few weeks or once a week, or, just different check-ins. I noticed that, it's a good intentions, but I know, especially on social media, people be like, hey, DM me if you ever want to talk. That's good and all, if in terms of your attention is there. Your attention is really cute. However, that's not the kind of accurate help that they need. And two, you might be taking on something yourself that now you need to get help for. So you always want to be there for each other. There needs to be a community, but there needs to be a community of people who are equipped to handle what we're going through on more serious cases. Of course, you can have a friend that takes you out for walks and things of that nature, but that needs to be coupled with also professional help. And that person who's helping check up on you can continue those things with you just to make sure that you're good also. But we can't just say, oh, check up on them, text them, and then leave them behind. And we never hear from you again. That's not checking up on someone. That's seeing if they're, still alive, to be frank. That seems they're still alive. But there's a difference between seeing someone's alive and to help them keep on living. And I feel like we in our community, we need to help keep each other going, keep each other thriving. Which is why in our community, study group is really important, which is why in our community, sisterhood and brotherhood is really important. Community is stress because we know we can't get through this life on our own. So while that's important, I feel like we need to definitely be more intentional when we want to check up on people, and then want to follow that up with further action if needed. And that will make sure that we are properly cared for on all fronts.
Excellent. Praise be to Allah. So many people showing you all love. And I just want to thank both of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. And I look forward to you all coming back on different topics in the future. I want to first let Sister Miriam say assalamu alaikum and thank you very much for coming on, Queen.
Thank you for having me, Brother Joshua. It was an honor and pleasure being on here with you and Sister Queen Nzinga. Thank you both. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Thank you very much. And we look forward to your one-on-one interview as well, Sister Miriam, because Sister Queen Nzinga, she's been on before multiple times now, and we have yet to interview you, though you're my blood sister. Got it. All right, so Sister Queen Nzinga, I want to say assalamu alaikum to you as well, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me on this beautiful podcast. And thank you, Miriam, for also being here with me. I really appreciate you both.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Sasha Smidget says, excellent distinction, making sure they're alive versus helping them keep living. Thank you all for watching. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.